Go ahead, keep playing through the contact, physicality. Don't worry, they're not going to call anything, play through it. Don't get caught up in that. Keep the turnovers low, keep them out transition.
I don't know if there is a player on the planet, that is more inclined to have people want to be physical with them than Steph Curry. Because he's such a great shooter, and he's such a great player, and he's such a great ball handler. Sometimes you find it impossible to stop him. You just want to hurt him. Because you think that's the only way you can stop him. So when you're the opposition and you say, that's what we do, at some point in time in the postseason, that verbiage could work against you. That's my issue.
I know I said Warriors in 4, but I wasn't expecting a WWE match to break out in the middle of the Rockets-Warriors playoff game and the injury/early exit of Jimmy Buckets. But such is the world of sports and entertainment. Make sure you check in the comment section and give me your I told you so's. That being said, this was one of the most insane 48 minutes of basketball we've seen this entire season. Hey, what's happening, everyone? This is Swish Culture. From pushing and shoving no calls to football tackles, taking out players from behind to Jalen Green holding Steph Curry tighter than Drea. I'm beginning to wonder if playoff basketball just became a cross hybrid of The Bachelor meets the Super Bowl. What's next? A WWE chokeslam? This game is about as physical as you could possibly find in a playoff series of the last 4 decades. Things got so bad, the Rockets fouled and eliminated Jimmy Butler, one of the toughest players on the floor at any given time, which provided a huge boost as they went on a run subsequent to Jimmy's departure. Not to mention a failed attempt by Brooks to take out Steph Curry. It would appear by all accounts that there was no other recourse for this team to beat Golden State. Talent-wise, they're still not on par with the Warriors, so instead, they've decided to up the physicality, which is just code for, let's foul out of them and take them out of the game. Literally. Despite this enormous distraction, there is still some to take away from the game, which we'll get into in just a minute. Before that, however, be sure to like the video and subscribe to Swish Culture for the most analytical and entertaining NBA content on the planet. Now get ready. You're about to get The Rockets finished with a victory over the Warriors, 109-94, in one of the most controversial playoff games this season. Not only was it an extremely physical game, this kind of went beyond the limits of what we've seen before in terms of what players were allowed to get away with. The most surprising aspect of that game was that it didn't end in an all-out brawl. Somewhere in the chaos, however, the Rockets came out on the other side on an insane performance by Jalen Green, who had 38 points, 6 assists, 4 rebounds, 3 steals, while hitting 8 3-pointers at a 44% clip, only turning the ball over twice. Green's ability to take over the game provided 3-level scoring and made the Warriors' defense essentially a non-factor. While a game like this from Jalen wasn't unexpected, his 7 points in Game 1 likely set the Warriors up for a feint. That's because despite getting consistent minutes, Green has struggled to maintain consistency over his career, often showing signs of being a dominant 2-guard, but then regressing in yo-yo fashion shortly after. So how did Green manage to leave the Warriors in the dust after they apparently locked him up in the first outing? Let's first see how it all started and then unraveled with sparks from both teams igniting this fiery performance. Now, the Warriors are an interesting team. While they won their first matchup against the Rockets, they were out-rebounded 52-36. The small ball lineup that they deployed against Houston consists of a front court that features Butler and Green at 6'7" and 6'6" respectively. Compare that to Alperen Sengun at 6'11" alongside Dillon Brooks at 6'6". To make matters worse, the Rockets' bench goes 3 deep, with the shortest player being Tari Eason at 6'8", the other 2 being Steven Adams at 6'11" and Jabari Smith Jr. at 6'10". Compare that to the Warriors' bench with a 6'2" Gary Payton II, 6'4" Buddy Hield, and 6'6" Guy Santos. This ensures the Warriors never run short of 3-guard lineups on the floor at any given time. This length and height difference is extremely difficult to overcome, and paired with the fact that Houston just has a much younger team, you start to realize the advantage the Rockets have over the Warriors. Coach Ime Udoka realizes this and is leaning heavily into this part of Houston's game to attack the Warriors. Their goal is to wear down the older Golden State team with sheer physicality, such that the longer this series drags on, the better their chances of winning. The first true casualty of this assault was Jimmy Butler, who went up for a rebound only to have his landing spot and landing gear snatched away on his way down. Amen Thompson, fighting through a box out by Draymond Green, forces his way through and at the last second takes out Jimmy's legs somewhat unintentionally as Butler hits the deck, resulting in the third pelvic contusion injury for the Warriors this season, the first two being Curry and Kuminga. Neither were out very long, so I'm not expecting Butler to be out too long either. As a matter of fact, the most recent report came back that Butler didn't sustain any structural damage, so I'm expecting Jimmy to return almost immediately, or at worst, miss a single game. While there were no other noted injuries, this forced the Warriors into scramble mode, as a Butler injury creates the absolute worst case scenario. The Warriors funneled their offense through Butler, with him playing over 42 minutes a night, being at the absolute core of the team's strategy. So much so, his presence on the floor warrants the elimination of Jonathan Kuminga as a contributor to the team. Prior to JK's injury, they relied heavily on his dynamic on-ball shot creation, a move which, while it kept them afloat, wasn't going to help them when he was injured. That role went to Jimmy, and the positive results led to this becoming the Warriors' permanent state. The scrambling that followed his departure from the game after just 8 minutes saw Jonathan Kuminga enter the fray for the first time after missing 3 straight high-level games. While the team went on a few runs, they just never really recovered. Even before Jimmy's injury, the Rockets had the lead early on, something they never relinquished at any point during the game. The Warriors simply had no answer for Jalen Green. Another problem that continues to plague the team were the turnovers. Draymond and Curry alone combined for a total of 11. With a rating of 0.36 turnovers per possession, Draymond Green turns the ball over almost every other possession, which gives the Rockets an obvious advantage. This is only somewhat balanced by him on the defensive end, where he continues to blow up the opposing team's offensive plays, getting steals and just basically wreaking havoc. While I'm still in awe of what he does defensively, to me at least, it appears he's being exposed. He's having trouble guarding Şengün, and while his overall defense may balance out his turnovers to a degree, the lack of scoring dependability and spacing seem to be outweighing the benefits. Just as they did back in 2015 in replacing Bogut with Iguodala in the starting lineup, in order to win this series specifically, they might have to make a tough decision with Draymond Green. That brings me to the Rockets starting center Alperen Şengün, who matches up with Draymond Green, putting up 17 points, 16 rebounds, 7 assists, and 2 steals while finishing with a plus 28. The Rockets had a lot of issues fitting Şengün next to JG last season, which led to speculation of a trade because they thought the two players couldn't play next to each other. Wonder where I've heard that before. Considering they finished as the second seed and have tied the series with the Warriors, it's safe to say they're figuring it out. Şengün is thoroughly outplaying Green in this series, and the over-reliance on Jimmy is proving to be a dangerous game. Even if the Warriors win this series, will they even have anything left in the tank to take on the Lakers or the Timberwolves? The Lakers might be the easier matchup, considering the physicality that's likely to be involved with Minnesota. That being said, if the Warriors don't shut this down in 5 or worse 6 games, the Rockets are going to take Game 7. Let me know your thoughts on the series so far, and if you think the Warriors can win a potential Game 7 against this team. Post your thoughts in the comments below. Before that, however, be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on all your notifications so you don't miss any of my latest uploads. Thanks for watching. Till next time, swoosh.